When you find a real estate platform that aligns everyone in the entire company financially by making us real estate agents owners, so when the average agent wins, everyone wins, that's the secret to success. And when you surround yourself with like-minded entrepreneurial people who absolutely love what they do, they love serving people, they love God and life, and you put yourself in an environment of high energy, high producing, positive people every day, you can't help but succeed in business and life. We are changing the real estate industry and changing real estate agents' lives. Welcome to the Financial Freedom Forever podcast.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Financial Freedom Forever podcast. I'm super excited to be announcing I have one of my newest business partners, Paul Montaperto from Marietta, Georgia, on today. How you doing today, Paul?
I'm doing great, Andre. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm super excited to unpack your story, and I think it's going to give a lot of value to especially people in your market in Atlanta. But yeah, Paul serves as the an owner, associate broker, and a real estate agent, and the lead education specialist at Family to Family Inc., whose vision is to support schools and K through 12 education and the needs of kids and family. For more than 20 years, Paul served as a teacher, a coach, a principal in several different school districts, both public and private. His extensive background in K-12 education all across Atlanta has been an asset serving families in need of educational support for their students and when seeking help to identify the best fit for their educational needs and desires. So it's a big deal. Paul's married to his beautiful wife, Tiffany, who's also a realtor. And they live in the Metro Atlanta area. Has three awesome kids. But thanks again, Paul, for joining us. And let's just jump right in and tell us a little bit about your background. I mean, I shared a little bit there, but in your story.
Yeah, no, thank you, Andre. And again, thanks for having me on. It's been a pleasure getting to know you and the team and eXp over these last few months. But like you said, I spent over 20 years in the education field and started out as an elementary school teacher, taught in middle school. I know a lot of you, when I say that, you're thinking I'm crazy, but those kids are great. I loved them. I coached a little bit at the high school level, was an assistant principal for a little while, a principal, and a head of school. And I've done some consulting as well, helping families identify what the best fit schools are for their kids, like Andre said. And so it's been a great last couple of decades. My beautiful wife, Tiffany, was a former kindergarten teacher. We actually met working in the same school back in 2005. And then she was at home with the kids when they started to arrive. And instead of getting back into education, she chose to get into real estate, and she's done really well with it these last few years. I've had my real estate license for almost 10 years. I actually went and got it while I was still in the educational industry, and it was more of a hobby than anything else for me. And so I've been practicing real estate for almost a decade, and now have transitioned into wanting to launch a company that's based around the idea of helping families sell their homes, find homes, and more importantly, connect them with schools and school districts and private schools, whatever it is that they're looking for that best suits the needs of their kids and their values. I think that's oftentimes something that's a little underestimated. But I think, Andre, you and I both know, and any other folks watching this podcast, that it's typically one of the top criteria when families are looking for homes is where their kid's going to go to schools. And so my wife and I have nearly 4 decades of experience working in schools, specifically around the Metro Atlanta area. We're very connected to a lot of the different schools. We know a good deal beyond what you might find in just a rating or a review online when you're searching for those things. And so we feel like we're able to add a value to families that are in the need, again, of finding a school that better supports their kids and or a home that they're looking for in an area where they can go to school, where their kids can go to school, where they are best supported and it connects with their family values. So that's a little bit about the story. We live out here in Marietta, Georgia, in West Cobb. We've been here about 7 years. On this side, we were living over in Swanee, which, if you know the Atlanta area, is kind of the other side of northern Atlanta. And we service pretty much the entire metro Atlanta area with supporting families who need to either relocate within the area, relocating from out of state, or, like I said earlier, are looking for a change, something different with regards to their kids' school setting.
That's awesome. I'm super excited for what you are going to be able to do in your real estate career. I mean, you've been doing this for, like you said, for 10 years, but mainly in the education, and you're going to just bring so much knowledge and help to people out there that are looking for homes and have kids. I know when we built our first house in New York, and we're looking for land, and I wouldn't look anywhere but one school district.
Right.
And you're going to be able to, being a principal and being a counselor at a lot of these different locations, you have the inside track on that. So I'm excited how you're going to be able to help a lot of people.
Yeah. It's it all really kind of happened organically, and it evolved to be what it is now. And my wife and I, we both have hearts for service. Mm-hmm. We have, committed our lives for a long time to serving kids and families, and we want to continue to do that, but just maybe in a little bit different approach than working inside the walls of a school.
Right. It's awesome. So let's unpack. You were, at another small independent company, and before we met, you were thinking of starting your own independent, right? You were going to go off and start your own independent company, and kind of walk us through that. And how it all came about that, you're partnered up with us. And that's why we're having this big announcement that we have Paul here joining us at eXp.
Yeah. So I, again, I've practiced real estate for the last 10 years, part-time. I started with Century 21 right out of the gate in 2014. And then in 2017, I transitioned to Drake Realty, which is a local Atlanta company here. And I have been with them up until recently when I moved over to eXp. And it was a really good fit for me based on what I was doing, part-time, minimal fees. I had the freedom and flexibility to do what I needed to do. But when we decided to move in a direction of approaching this a little bit more full-time, I was looking for an organization that had a lot more meat to it, a lot more resources, and the culture, if you will, that identifies with who I am and what my desires and goals and vision are for supporting families in real estate services and education. And so you and I started chatting for a little while, and my thought was, at first, I got my broker's license last year, and I thought, it makes sense for me to go out and just open my own brokerage and launch my own vision. And as I started doing my due diligence, I realized a lot of the aspects that come with that, the expense of it, the liability, the overhead, all those different things, which I wasn't afraid of, but certainly those were aspects that were going to be a part of that formula. And when I discovered eXp, and you were willing to share with me kind of who eXp was and how that brand could be still developed as a team name within eXp, I began to rethink opening the own brokerage. And I'm glad I did, because as I project forward what's the opportunity that lies ahead with supporting families with buying or selling homes or investment properties and things of that nature, eXp has a wealth of resources that I've already, neck deep in as I'm, trying to paddle through and figure out what the best resources are. But also the support, Andre, the support from you and Levi McDonald and some of the other folks that I'm sure I'll meet over the course of my way forward. It feels like a family, and I don't feel like I'm hanging out here by myself. And so for me, that was super important. And all of that has come to be true so far. And so I'm looking forward to, like we were talking before we got started on this, what the future holds, and getting connected with many, many more people who are like-minded, who have similar visions and goals, and leaning on one another to, again, continue to help people in this industry.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to take a second just to welcome all our viewers And if you guys have any questions for Paul, put them in the chat. We'll go ahead and answer them and make sure to push this out on Facebook and share it with your friends. And welcome Jimmy and Robbie, Timmy, Lynn, Joe, John. Thanks for joining in and many others. But yeah, just put your questions in the chat, and we'll go ahead and ask Paul. But let's jump into some of the main reasons that I guess the 2 or 3 biggest reasons why you decided to partner up with us, and how's that already started to kind of materialize?
Yeah, sure. I mean, again, being perfectly honest, this was not part of the grand plan. At least it wasn't part of my grand plan.
You had your business plan already wrote out. I remember you telling me you had your business plan.
And even prior to that, I had thought I would probably spend, more like 25 to 30 years in the education industry. And I never say never. There are days definitely that I miss being in the school building with the kids and things of that nature. But but when I decided to look in a different direction, based on my different experiences, and thought about opening my own brokerage, and then discovered eXp, it became pretty clear that many doors were opening that I continued to walk through, and other doors were closing. And so I was just being very trusting and following what was being provided for us. And it has led me to this space right now. And so, nobody knows what the future holds. I'm very excited about the opportunity to be connected with eXp. And I look forward to, like I said earlier, supporting families in the Atlanta area by helping them find homes, or help them find schools in certain school districts, or we have a plethora of great private schools in the Atlanta area. That if that's their choice to want to pursue a private school, we're very connected with those folks too, and know a great deal about them. And so, again, I hate to be redundant, but my heart is to serve families and kids. Right. And so when it clicked for me that can be done more so in the real estate industry than I had been doing, I jumped in, and here we are.
And you didn't take the decision lightly. I know you did a lot of due diligence over the last several months. Walk us through some of the due diligence that you've done to help you make the decision that it was a better fit to partner up with us than start your own independent, because you can still do what you want to do within the model.
Yeah, no, I don't. Impulsivity is not in my grain. I sometimes may move a little too slow for some folks, not for me. I really like to make sure I do my homework, I do my research when we're making big decisions, and certainly switching careers is a big decision. And so I was out there interviewing lots of different companies in the local area, talking to people I know in the industry, people who know people, looking at different structures and models. And it was really when you and I connected, I think back in February, I didn't know much about eXp Realty at the time. I think Tiffany had mentioned she knew a friend that had jumped on board a little while ago. And other than that, you and I just, kept listening to the conversations and things that you were sharing. And I had a chance to attend a rally here in March in the Atlanta area. And so I got a feel for kind of the culture, if you will, and the vision of who eXp is. And that was very cool to see. I think it's unfortunate, as I've learned, at least from my perspective, that the real estate industry sometimes gets a bad rap because there's 1.8 million real estate agents in the country, and some people get into it because they think it's a get rich quick kind of business, and most of the time I think that's not what they realize, and so this certainly was not the reason why I wanted to pursue it. And I saw eXp had a family feel, And I saw that there was an opportunity for me to learn and grow and have access to some amazing resources through the Honey Badger Nation and and what Jay and those guys have put together. I just touching the tip of the iceberg with those different things. And so it just, after doing my due diligence, it was really clear to me what the right decision was. And so far, I've been very, very impressed with the opportunity and the folks that have reached out, and the willingness for people to answer my 1,000,001 questions. And I'm super excited about what the future holds.
You mentioned going to the rally. You kind of saw some of the culture. How is it, in your opinion, different than in the other 10 years that you've been in real estate at a few different companies?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to make a true comparison because I've really never did anything like that elsewhere. When I was first out of the gate and first licensed, I did spend some time in the office, if you will, after leaving my school job because I was learning and, I was actively I had a mentor and things of that nature. But it certainly was nothing like what I saw at the eXp rally. There was high energy, a lot of enthusiasm, a great willingness to support and help one another instead of competing against one another, which is sometimes something you see in different places. There was a vibe, if you will, that to me spoke of high ethics and moral turpitude, which is important to me, and so, all that put together, it just made sense. Levi did a great job. He was the one that was up on stage, kind of, pulling everything through. I had a chance to meet Amy there, who's the VP of growth. And, it just, it was a great opportunity. I appreciated the invitation. And it was one extra element for me to kind of check the box to say, okay, so there is some reality behind the talk, right? Instead of it just being, hey, here's who we are. I got to see who eXp was, and it may not be for everybody, but it certainly was the right fit for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we're really excited about partnering up with you, Paul, and what you are going to be able to do in the future in the Atlanta area with all your clients and the people that know you. I mean, there's a lot of people that know, like, and trust you from all the, from your accolades and what you've been able to do in the community. So when people trust you as a principal and, a teacher, et cetera, with their kids, which is even more important than a house, right, is your kids. Sure. I know they're going to trust you and to be able to find them the right property, the right home, and the right school district, et cetera. So I'm excited to see how your career really starts blowing up. What would you say are the top 3 things that was most important to you in making the move over?
Top 3 things. These are not in any specific order. But again, first, I think the thing that stood out was the wealth of resources. Just the way eXp has everything available digitally to where, which is kind of the way my brain works. And, I have free reign so to speak, to get into any of these resources when I need to, or again, to ask for direction or guidance to places that I might not be sure where to go to get information. That has been almost overwhelming, if I'm being honest, because there's so much, but I'm able to dial it down to get what I need. And so I would say that the resources was one. Number 2, again, like I shared, is the culture. Mm-hmm. I think that made it evident. Not to say eXp is perfect by any means, but they're doing a lot of things right to be the fastest growing real estate brokerage in the country, or potentially even in the world, I guess. It's fun to be a part of that. I look forward to going to some of the bigger events like eXp Con and things of that nature. to start really diving in and experiencing that energy and that enthusiasm with lots of other folks. And then I think the third part is there's just, and I'll attribute this to you, Andre, the specific people like yourself that I've had a chance to engage with, Levi McDonald as well. There's just a genuine aspect to and authenticity to who you all are and who you strive to be, and the impact and influence you're looking to make in the world and in people through the real estate industry. Your heart, your commitment to God and Christianity and your friends and family. And again, those are the things that I align with. And
Right.
so, it's a better fit for me. Not to say, I look forward to helping lots of families, and obviously that equates to making an income of some sort. But it's not just about the money, right? There's so much more to it, and that's been refreshing, I think, for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I got in the business when I was 22 years old, so
Yeah.
it was back then for me about the money. Let's get into real estate and make a lot of income, and we certainly have done that. But when we moved to Georgia back in 2009 and got into a great Christian church, my idol was not money anymore. It was the Lord. But now we're able to use the real estate platform as a way to be out in front of people, to serve people, hopefully, share the light of Jesus with people, and help them with one of the most important, financial decisions of buying and selling homes. So, it's been very rewarding for me as well. And you mentioned, excited about going to eXp Con, one of the live events. I can tell you, Paul, that when I looked at the model myself, it made sense for me as well. Checked off a whole lot of boxes, and I knew in my mind that this was just going to be the most agent-centric company out there for agents and broker owners. Because I too was thinking of starting my own independent brokerage when I got out of coaching.
Yeah, right. I remember
that's all I've ever done is real estate. So thought about starting my own independent again. But same reasons for yourself, with expenses and costs and liability, we could build with our own branding, like you're branding yourself with F to F. What's the name of your main company again?
Family to Family Inc.
Family to Family, F to F.
Yep.
Exactly. Family to Family. So you can brand yourself with your colors and everything, and be able to build a business within a business, but have a whole line of people behind you that's there and available to help, where you don't do that. You don't have that on your own. You're kind of on an island by yourself when you're an independent broker,
right?
And everyone's looking to you for everything. And now you can look to, some of the 1,000+ employees and agent owners in the company for help. But when I went to my first event, was in Orlando. It went from my head to my heart, because I met Glenn Sanford personally. I met Jason Gessing, the CEO, personally. We hung out with a lot of pretty high level people. I mean, my partner and I were doing 300 units a year when we were in Atlanta, and we were in rooms with people doing 1,000, 1,500 units a year.
Wow.
And they were talking to us like we're all good friends, and we just met these people. But because everyone's, an owner in a company, because we all get stock, it's just a whole different atmosphere and feel. So I'm excited for you to go to your first event, because you'll say to yourself, I know I did it for $149 a month. I got access to these type people with this kind of collaboration, and get $1,000 of the technology all included, so I could grow my business. So I'm excited for you to be able to get plugged in and really start your career.
Yeah, no, me too. I appreciate that. We're just getting started.
That's right. I've been at eXp for 4.5 years, and I feel like I'm just getting started, because there's so much opportunity to help people grow. Yeah.
Sure. And you had mentioned, just to plug the brand, Family to Family, Family, the number 2 Family Inc. is the brand that we've kind of hitched around this. If you can look down on the screen, you'll see my phone number, and as well as the website address, www.f2fres.com. You want to go check that out. You can see kind of where what we're doing here in the Atlanta area with homes.
Yeah, thanks for plugging that, because I did go and check out your website there last week, and it's pretty impressive of all the tools and systems that you have access to for schools and getting information, and people are going to be pretty happy with what they're going to be able to get there for sure.
Good.
What are some of your plans, Paul, here in the in the next 12 months or even longer goals? I mean, what are you looking to achieve in the next 2 to 3 to 5 years? What's some of your vision for family to family?
Yeah, I think from on the education side, that's like I said, it's shifted and changed from the last 20 years, and so staying connected with a lot of the schools. There's, like I said earlier, many great private schools around the metro Atlanta area. And so I have been very diligent about putting myself out there and making connections. I know several people in a lot of the schools, but certainly not all of them. And so creating awareness around who Family to Family is and how they can help service schools by giving back to K-12 education in a couple of different ways. There's the education side where I've spent the last year meeting with families and helping them identify what might be the best school and the best fit for them, and helping them through that process. And then also, there are times where they need to move and purchase a home that's within a decent driving distance to that school, or within that school district, or whatever the case may be. And so it's really trying to project that vision and create awareness around who we are in the Atlanta area and how we can continue to serve, and then give back. That's one of the other things here is the mission of what we're able to do in this space is to be able to give back both with knowledge, time, and financially to K-12 education, so that these schools have the resources that they need to do their best by the kids that they are serving. And so, I think when you look at 3, 5, 10 years, I hope and pray that we're able to continue to have a growing impact and influence on schools being able to better serve kids, as well as, helping families recognize that there are many more options available in addition to the public school that you are zoned to go to based on where you live. The educational landscape has changed so much in the last 5 to 10 years with charter schools, very specialized private schools, hybrid schools, virtual schools, the homeschool groups. There's a lot of different things out there, and we want to educate families in those options, in those various options, to help them identify what best meets the needs of their kids, but also the values that they have as a family.
That's awesome. I love your heart, Paul, and what you guys are going to be doing, and what you've done for the community thus far, and now being able to kind of go to that next level, and not just helping the kids like you had done for the last couple of decades, but helping the families as well. I'm just stoked of what you guys are going to be able to do, and I can see you having a very busy real estate future ahead of you for sure.
Yeah, no, thank you, Andre. I appreciate it.
Was there any surprises, Paul? I like to ask people, eXp is known as an online, company, virtual company. Was there anything that was a big surprise to you with the transition of onboarding and coming over to partner with us?
You know what, Andre? I would say that the one thing that that was a pleasant surprise was the amount of support. I mean, I knew it here based on my research and homework and what we have talked about, but the support that you have provided me with, getting a logo developed, helping build a website, a funnel with Facebook ads and things of that nature. I don't know that I realized that was going to be how much support I would receive when coming on board. And so that has been probably a pleasant surprise, and certainly highly needed. I'm very grateful for all that support, because I'm learning as I go, and knowing that there are folks out there that have done it. I don't need to recreate the wheel, just lean on them for their support. And so that's been extremely helpful.
No, that's awesome. Well, when we say that we're business partners, we really mean it. I mean,
Yeah.
and what's pretty incredible that you'll start learning in the near future is even people outside of your, your network. There's, I think we're over at 88,000 agents in the company now,
Yeah.
and I have people reaching out to me weekly now, asking for help for whatever it might be, for building a routine, for just a lot of different things. And I don't even know these people, but they're within the company and they're asking for help. So I always just give them my calendar and say, yeah, just book a 15-minute phone call, 30-minute Zoom, whatever it might be, and I'm willing to help you. And what's cool is I can do the same exact thing for other people within the company and ask help from them.
Right.
I had somebody just the other day. I got a couple coming on that's looking to partner with us, and they're a partner, a male and female, not married. They're just business partners and been in real estate together for a long time, and they just wanted to understand, some of the different ways that kind of set things up, because they have a team and so forth. So I went on my workplace app that we have on our phone and into one of the groups that I'm in, and just said, hey, who knows somebody that can talk to these friends of mine? And somebody said, talk to so-and-so. He's been in the company for 7 years. And that's kind of how their setup is. So I private messaged that person on Workplace, and within 5 minutes, he said, yeah, sure, happy to help in any way I can. I picked up the phone, called him. We had a five-minute conversation, and he said, yeah, just give me some dates and times, and I'm happy to talk to him. And I've never met this person in the company. I think he told me he was number 2,500 out of 88,000. So he's got a pretty big organization. But he's more than happy to help. And that's a big surprise for me when I first got started as well. Now it's just an everyday thing.
Sure.
But it makes a huge difference when you're trying to build a business, right? You never feel alone, and you have just a whole lot of people willing to open up their hearts and to help.
Yeah, it certainly feels that way. And who wants to go at this alone? I mean, I don't, and that's why I made the decision to join eXp instead of that. And yeah, I'm not afraid of trying things and learning through failure and success and all of that. But if I can learn from others who have already kind of paved that path, that's going to save me a whole lot of time and money and frustration. And when people are willing to do it instead of feeling bothered, that makes it even much more pleasant. And so it's clear as day to me that people want to continue to invest in others and grow their businesses, much like you have done for me so far, Andre.
Yeah, the model that Len Sandberg put together for us, it's just he set it up so well that you can only win if you help others win.
Right.
Right. So no matter who you talk to in the company, if we help each other, the company grows, and we're all owners in the company with the stocks and everything else. And, as a company wealth grows, so does it ours. So it's just been a beautiful thing. Hey, and thanks everyone for jumping on and listening today. If anyone's in the Atlanta area that's looking for a home and wants to know more about the school districts, there's no better person here to be calling Paul. So his phone number is on the screen there, or go to his website. And you don't have to be in the Atlanta area either. You could be if you're an agent that's thinking about starting his own independent company, his own brokerage, just like Paul was, and you like to pick his brain, reach out to Paul and get a little bit deeper to find out, what are the other reasons that we don't have time to go through today that help him make the decision that this could be a better fit. But before we close out, Paul, any last minute things that you'd like to share about your experience or about your plans before we kind of sign off?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just give a plug for Atlanta. Hey, go Braves. It's right here. Atlanta's a great city and has a lot to offer for families looking to raise their kids. And so if, I can be of service in helping folks relocate to the area, or folks that live in the area and recognize that there are a lot of great public schools and private schools in the area, families that may not be happy with their current school circumstances, or their kids need something different, or they're just looking for, to be in a different area, closer to other people, or to downsize, upsize, whatever it is. We know the area extremely well. And we believe that we are the experts with both the schools and the homes. And so our heart is to serve. And if you think we might be a good fit, then please don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can call me and go on our website and click the contact button on many of the areas on the website, and just reach out to us that way. And we would be happy to help. We'd love to help.
That's awesome. Well, again, thanks for joining us today. I always ask one question at the end, Paul. If you're a book reader, what's the favorite book that you'd like to recommend to our listeners? Or if you're a movie watcher, your best movie you'd like to recommend?
Yeah. So as far as the books, spending many, many years in the educational world and leadership, I've chewed up and through a lot of leadership books. And I think there's a lot of application to certainly running your own business. But one of my favorites there is a book called The Advantage by Patrick Lencioni. And he talks a little bit about, or he talks a lot about what you can do as a leader to create advantage in your business. And he's got like 6 different things there. So that's one I'd recommend. On the more fun side, I'm a sci-fi kind of fantasy guy. And again, being an educator working with kids, including my own kids, the Harry Potter series was something that I latched onto, especially their 3rd book, Prisoner of Azkaban. It's one of my favorites. Now it's one of my daughter's favorites. And so love that. As far as movies go, I've got my all-time favorite, which many people I don't know that they've heard of, and that's it's a movie called Fletch. With Chevy Chase, that was made in the early 80s by Michael Ritchie. And it's a comedy, obviously with Chevy Chase. Yeah. It's one that I try to cycle back and watch every so often. And then, The Godfather is probably my all-time favorite drama. I'm Italian. I grew up in Deer Park, New York, and identified with that whole world. I could certainly tell lots of stories to know more. And then lastly, a movie that I love to plug that's near and dear to my heart is a movie called Courageous by the Kendrick brothers. If you're a dad and a husband, it's one that I would highly encourage you to watch, about having the courage to truly, raise your kids in today's world and the things that are required from that. So, I'm probably more of a movie watcher these days than I am a book reader. But years ago, I did chew through a lot of books. Thank you, Andre. I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I look forward to the relationship that we have, and the opportunity to learn a whole lot more about eXp and to help folks in Atlanta with their needs for schools and homes.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations for partnering up with us. We're super excited and grateful for you to be part of our family. And we'll see you, I'm sure, at one of the next live events. And thanks again, everyone, for listening to the Financial Freedom Forever podcast. And we'll see you next week.
All right. Go Braves.
All right. Thanks, Paul. Listen to what our business partners are saying about our FFF group.
All right, so the reason I love Triple F is because everybody there that it's able to help me when I need an answer, I can call them, I can message them, and they get back to me. That's why Triple F is the best.
What I love most is that the collaboration here is so contagious, and we're all financially incentivized to help each other grow and be successful. It's each one teach one, and we're here to help each other grow.
What I love about the Financial Freedom Forever group is the collaboration. The wealth of knowledge we can tap into is incredible. I absolutely love is the mentorship and support, nonstop support. You have access to people's calendars that you wouldn't ordinarily have access to, that get you further than you are right now.
To get your questions answered and learn more about how to partner with us, go to partnerwithandre.com or simply scan the QR code. Check out the videos, get on my calendar, and let's have a private conversation. See if you might be a good fit for us to work together and help grow your business to the next level.